You look different from how I know you. This is very high tech. I was never really a sci-fi guy myself. No offense. Not that would be offensive. You're not actually. You. Okay. I. Oh, I really wish I'd had time to think of the best way to explain this before I came in here. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, I bet I do seem pretty different. That other me is, it's alright. I don't take it personal. Let's just try blunt. To the point. Because we only have so much time. Okay, this. All of this. It's not, like I said, you are not in that facility. And you're not, here in these woods either. Neither am I. You are on the floor in a basement in McKinley. I'm there too. Mark is there, and we're running out of time. You are running out of time. We have to wake you up. Because if you don't wake up soon, you never will again. Not really. No, not in a metaphorical sense of waking up, like literally wake up. But that's not. You're not a. Oh, God damn it! You're not an android. You're not. You're a human being. Okay, you're not the asset. You are a human person, and we're losing you. No. Hold on. Don't. I know that. I know. I'm not. But I'm not. I'm not a trick of the Meridian. I'm not. Please, you just have to hear me out. You have to listen. I don't know if my backup is going to get here in time. If you don't, and I don't even know if they're going to have any more luck. You don't. You don't have to believe me yet, but I need you to listen. I need you to at least consider what I'm saying. I don't know how to prove it to you. You don't understand this right now, but anything I say is just gonna get woven up into the labyrinth your brain is churning out. Oh my God. I am not qualified for this. I don't know Okay. 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 Let's look at it from a perspective that you will understand. Um, hypotheticals. Okay. In your mind, you and Marcus used to run hypotheticals, right? Okay. Then run one with me now. Imagine that what I'm saying is true, that you are not an android created by ETS, but that you are a human being. That you are actually trapped in a dream. One that only you have the power to get yourself out of. If hypothetically that were true, and I was to ask you the question, what state of matter is love? What would your answer be? Fuck. Are you sure? Is there not... Is there any other answer that you think it could be? Okay, we'll try that. What state of matter is love? Nothing. Oh my god. No, that was supposed to get you out of here. It was your skeleton key. That should have worked. I really hoped it was going to be that easy. I don't know. Maybe that was the wrong answer. Or maybe you just don't believe it when you're saying it. You're the only one who knows the real answer to that question. Not Mark. Not me. It was personal to you. You crafted it before you came in here. Which means we have to find your answer. I am a telepath, yes. That's how I'm here. Dreams aren't my forte. That's for the dreamwalkers of the world, but they're similar enough processes. I can project my thoughts into your mind, and the dream takes me in stride. But I can't root around for the right answer. Because your mind is too complex. We'll get there. But I think we need to actually start at the beginning. Looks like jumping to the end isn't gonna work, so we'll go the long way. Come on. Sit. Time is precious, yes. But there's no sense in being uncomfortable in the meantime. Sit with me. It'll help you think. I know. I know you still don't believe me. I don't have to be a telepath to figure that out. Maybe just look at it like another hypothetical for now. Thank you. Okay, what is the earliest thing you remember? Okay. Nothing earlier than that. No, not things you've been told. I'm asking about your memories, the farthest back of what you can remember. Okay. Take me down into the memory. Yeah, not thinking about it like a transcript, like something to recite. We need to go into that memory. We need to see it. We need to hear it. We need to smell it. We need a full picture. You have that picture. You have that data. You have all of that. We just need to take the time to find it. All of it. Reaching back, back into your mind. Remembering what he said. What he looked like when he said it. Down, down, down into the memory. Sink down into it. The four walls, the table underneath you, the equipment beside you, that constant little hum of the machines down, down, down into the space.
Good morning.
There it is.
But we don't really use
And this is as far back as you have.
the greeting.
Well,
Yes,
let's think about that.
that's just human failing.
It's kind of an odd place for a life story to start, isn't it?
We can go over that some
Feels like starting in the middle.
I had some questions for you.
Marcus talking you through a diagnostic.
Great.
But you two were talking like you'd done this before. Done this a lot. Done this for
Made some updates.
months.
How are those working out for you?
So why wouldn't you be able to remember those times?
No.
We've got to be able to go just a little farther
It's just the way you responded
back.
to the question. And we've made so much progress helping you
Marcus,
more.
let's think about
For lack of a better term,
Marcus.
human responses.
Hold the image of him in your mind
It was just kind of
and walk me down, down, down into the earliest version of him you can remember. look like? What was he wearing? Oh. Now that's interesting. Well, he's not in his technician uniform, is he? Focus on that. Focus on how he looks, on the discrepancy there. Pull that image you have down the spiral, deeper, further back. There's something deeper in there, deeper in the gravity. We just need to hold that image in your mind as we go down, down, down into the memory. The outfit. The outfit doesn't make sense in a lab. But we're not in a lab now, are we? Look around. 4 new walls. No machinery, no lab coats. There's light. Where's the light coming from? Little windows high on the wall, almost like the kind you'd see in a, yes, basement. Marcus is here in a t-shirt and jeans, and we're in a basement, and you are in a chair. What does the chair feel like? What does the room smell like? How cold is it? No, we don't need a number. It's okay not to know it. We just need a feeling. It doesn't have to be exact, just a feeling. Down, down, down into the feeling. What are you feeling? How do you feel? Nervous about what? You're starting to remember. But we have to go back further. There's a crease here, a fold in your mind. Everything back here, everything before that diagnostic with Marcus, it's folded over and sealed, the edges pressed down firmly. But we've started to work under one of those seals, pinching the corner of your focus down, 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 until it's thin enough to slip under the edge, like a letter opener. This room, this basement, this Marcus, this is the beachhead of what's been sealed away. This is our lodestone, our anchor. We have this memory. We took it back. Nothing can push us back from this point. Now, this is now the farthest back you can remember. And we can keep reaching backward, down, down, downward from here. Why are you here? Why does he look different? Why did you meet with him? What did you want from him? Why did it make you nervous? Remember him. Remember his voice. Bring this memory down, down, down into. It's not a guarantee, but it can work. I've done this before. You're getting it. Keep reaching. Keep moving down the spiral. Let the senses pull you down, down, down gently. It's about emotion. Emotion unlocks it, so we need emotion. A lot of it. We need it to be revelatory. We need it to be novel. So we create a scenario where emotion could be new, could be an emergent characteristic, and we simulate an event that would lead to that emergence. It's an analogy. It's double meaning, double significance. It's the push you need.
No more tears?
There's nothing we can do. I'm so sorry. It's going to be alright. You're safe now. You're okay. It's okay. The memories are starting to unfold. I know. It's overwhelming. It's like a wave. Just let it crash over you. Let it carry you down. Go with the tide. They might not be in sequence, but it's okay. Memory isn't always linear, but you can be. Just keep going down, down, down. Trust.
Gore, did you say?
Dreams can be incredibly powerful when they're used right. Going to be okay. A skeleton key. This isn't something we can control. What state of matter is love? I'm still here. I'm here with you. It's okay. This is one of your memories. Let's let it play out. Good morning. Thank you for coming. Please, sit. I'm sure you are excited to start. So am I. I want to get you there too. It's the most rewarding part of this job. It's like nothing else. Seeing someone finally get that control. But we should go over some things first. There's some important stuff to remember with this process. It's not a guarantee,
but it can work. I've done this before. I will do everything that I can do.
There's nothing we can do. I'm so sorry. I can't imagine what this must feel like for you. Yes. That's me. This is how we met. Like I said, this process might not be linear. Let's just move through these memories. You're opening a floodgate. It's going to be a rough ride. But they'll explain it better than I could.
I understand that. And I'm sorry, but there isn't anything that the department can do about that. Research is ongoing. I can get you in touch with some of our research staff if that's something you'd like to participate in, but I won't lie to you, there hasn't been much progress. And I don't want to give you any kind of false hope. We just don't know what causes it. And for those few who have broken past it, the circumstances are different every time. It hasn't been replicable, even from the handful of examples that we have. And I really do mean only a handful. There's just not much there to work with. And then most of those recorded cases that we have, the circumstances that led to the breakthrough would either be incredibly risky or incredibly morally questionable to recreate. And there's the bigger question of if a recreation would even be effective. If you know a risk is coming, is the response genuine enough? Does it need to be? We don't know. I wish I had more I could give you, but dreams can be incredibly powerful when they're used right. Memory modification is something that only a demon can manage, but in dreams, memory suppression, that's the key. You see, in dreams, memory is different. When you're asleep in a dream, you don't know you're dreaming. You don't remember going to sleep. You don't remember things before the dream, except it may be in the way that they play into the dream itself. Part of what a dream even is memory consolidation. You don't have the full picture. When I craft a labyrinth, I have a degree of control over what memories are accessible to the person in that dream. And that's what makes this possible. It has to feel real. Magic is smart. Magic is cunning. It knows when you're faking it. You have to believe the emotions yourself. And in order to truly believe them, you can't know that they were manufactured. You have to believe it. And in a dream with the framing device suppressed, you will believe it. In a controlled environment, you'll be completely safe.
You're safe now. much blood. I am not a healer. I'm sorry. The department is coming. Just hold on. I'll try to stop the bleeding. Apply pressure.
You can't put that kind of pressure on yourself. This is not your fault. Even with powers, there's no way of knowing if you could have fought him off. He is very powerful, turned by old blood. It's a miracle that shifter, Anton, was able to overpower him. Anton got very lucky. The attack on your sister would have happened whether you had your powers or not. I would never claim to know how frustrating this must be, especially when you've gone through a situation where it feels like if you'd just had them, all this pain could have been avoided, but it's not that simple. You're alive. Your sister is alive. That's what is most important. Important for you to remember. We call it a skeleton key. It can be an image, a phrase. It's the thing that will remind you that you're in a dream. The thing that'll bring you back to yourself. It's a technique that non-dreamwalkers can use to help facilitate lucid dreaming, but for our purposes, it'll be my indicator as the dream crafter to know if the memory suppression is working correctly. Right now, you know the correct answer, the answer that's true to you. But when we're in the labyrinth, you won't. And provided you don't, that means I'm doing my job right. When we're done, when the powers manifest, I will lift the suppression and ask you the question again, and remembering that key will help ease you back out of the dream. And don't worry, if there's some kind of emergency, I can also pull you out myself, manually, so to speak. So don't worry about that. But the use of the key will make that transition back to the waking world more comfortable. It'll help reinforce that that was all a dream, and now you're back in reality. The reality of the situation is that you are latent. And we here in the department still don't know how to help people with that. I'm sorry. No one does. And anyone who claims to know, and there are plenty of people who do claim to know, they're probably just trying to take your money. Or even in the best case scenario, let's say they really are trying to help and they are an altruist. The only known way for a latent's powers to manifest is through some kind of extreme emotional event. Usually to be frank, deeply traumatic one. You've already been through something horrible. Please don't put yourself through more just to try to get powers that may or may not ever manifest. Magic is not a prerequisite to a full life. My spouse is unempowered. My parents are unempowered. Magic is the outlier, not the norm. What you're asking for is deeply dangerous. This could become very self-destructive very quickly. What you choose to do after you leave this building is up to you. All I can do is offer advice offer counseling, offer support groups. I can't decide for you what you want to do with your life. But I ask you this. This attack on you and your sister has amplified all those feelings of powerlessness. You blame yourself. You think if your powers had just manifested during puberty like everyone else, you could have prevented this. You could have fought that vampire off. You could have kept you and your sister safe. But choose a dream that will be effective and that will also be easy to separate from real life once you wake up. So something that is grounded but not possible in this day and age, because that'll make separating from it feel more natural. It'll make it very clear what's real and what's not. The one that I've used before and had success with is actually a near future science fiction based scenario, which I think will actually work really well for you, especially with your sci-fi interests. That should make it easier, even on a subconscious level, to inhabit it. And by going the science fiction route, an artificial person, android route, it's already ripe for an emotional emergence arc. I mean, there's all kinds of examples of that in media. It's an easy story to follow and easy to create, but one with a lot of power, a lot of emotional power, and that's exactly what we need. It's about emotion.
No, literally every song is about crying. Cry if I want to, cry me a river, cry, just let me cry. Cry and you cry alone, no more tears, Judy's turn to cry, Misty. This is all one album. Leslie Gore was wild. What was that?
Gore, did you say?
Oh my god.
How ominously apt. Because I can. Now be a good little blood bag. And
I have to check on them all. Hold on, please. It's going to be alright. You're safe now. Both of you. He's out, but he will heal. I have to get help. They've lost much blood. I am not a healer. I'm sorry. The department is coming. Just hold on. I'll try to stop the bleeding. Now you remember. His name is Quinn. He was a lone vampire not tied to a house. A predator. Anton was one of the investigators on his trail. He caught up in time to save the two of you, but Quinn managed to break free before backup could arrive. It took another full day to track him down, and the trap that the other investigators used to lure him back out cost one of them their lives. but it worked. He's in custody. And he's gonna fry for what he's done. To you, to them, to so many others. But that's not the end of the story. That's the beginning. Like I said, you're a human being. A latent human being. Born into a family of magic, but whose powers didn't manifest during puberty like they did for your sister and the rest of your family. You had a magical core, but you couldn't access it. I work for the department. I'm not an investigator, I'm just a facilitator. When you reached out to the department, they scheduled you a meeting with me. In the wake of the attack, you felt more than ever that you needed to make your powers manifest. You blamed yourself for what had happened. You thought that if you had your powers, whatever they might be, you could have fought back. And I had to be the one to tell you that the department doesn't have any more of a clue on how to make a latent person's powers unstuck than anyone else. I offered you what I could. Resources, support groups, any information we had. I gave you my card. But I thought that's where my part in the story would end. But you had meant it when you told me you'd do anything to get your powers. So, you tried to find someone that could help you get them. Someone who was willing to work under the table. You found Mark, a dreamwalker of questionable character. He claims to have discovered a way to get latents their powers. A way that he insists is completely safe and only minimally traumatic, since at the end of the day, the experiences aren't actually real. They're just a dream. An incredibly vivid dream, a dream in which memories are suppressed to ensure a genuine emotional response. And then he keeps upping the stakes in the scenario until the person becomes unstuck, or until it becomes too much for even him to stomach. Yes, something went wrong, but not in the way you mean. It worked. You did become unstuck. You did get your powers. You have them right now. Those powers are how we're here right now. Because we're not in a dream of Mark's making anymore. We're in the one you made. You're a dreamwalker. An incredibly powerful one. All those years of your powers being stuck has them firing in absolute overdrive now that they're free. your powers bloomed. Powers that create and control dreams. So without knowing it, your magic took the reins, ripped them out of Mark's hands. No, because the problem is, when your magic manifested, you didn't know you were in a dream. Your memories are being suppressed, so the dream didn't stop. It just ended up in your hands. Hands that didn't know they were in a realm that they were actively creating. You've been trapped in a labyrinth of your own making, and you didn't even know you were making it. Mark tried to re-enter, tried to force you to wake up. But your powers are stronger than his. He couldn't make a dent. He couldn't wake you up. He panicked. He found the card in your pocket, my card. Saw I worked for the department. He called me. I had no idea what I was getting into. He just said it was an emergency. And then when I got here and saw you passed out on the floor, I'm not equipped for this. I'm not trained for this. I'm just a telepath, just another cog in the department machine. I'm a facilitator, for fuck's sake. I try to help people, but this is above my pay grade. But I had to try. I called the department as soon as I got there. They're on their way now, but I thought maybe since I was a recent memory, that maybe seeing me would trigger some kind of a flashback. Maybe it would be easier than a complete stranger trying to convince you, or them just ripping you straight out of it. That maybe I could help you remember what had happened before the dream. But then, when I started to look in, I saw me and Anton. Twisted versions of us, but us. All the same. When your powers manifested and your mind took control of the dream, everything started to change. That's when this story took such a sharp turn. Started getting so much more complicated, started subconsciously drawing on the most recent memories you had, even still suppressed. Suddenly, the James character appears. He's helpful in some ways, but he holds all the cards. He doesn't give you any power, just some information. His motivations aren't clear. He kicks out Marcus, because Marcus's role was to keep you powerless. And then there's Anton, still quiet and kind, but with the details just wrong enough, because it's a fabrication. Here, he's unempowered instead of a shifter, but he feels safe. He's warm, protective. You have a dreamwalker's mind. Incredibly complex, incredibly powerful, capable of managing 1,000,001 variables all at once. Rebuilding the story you were trapped in, into one where you finally had power, where you were the only one that could save the day, save the whole world, with entire side stories you wove together, tragic backstories for that James and that Anton, your own take on the fears and the news stories that are going around about the Meridian, taken to the most extreme, theories about deltas and solitaire involvement and espionage. That one almost broke even your own internal narrative. A memory pushing through that didn't fit well in the established story. I was trying to break through by then, trying to reach you. Your mind was still trying to keep the story that made sense to it in place, even as little cracks of reality started to break through. The phone call, the intercom. I can't make you wake up. Neither can Mark. When the department demons get here, they probably can. But if we hadn't unlocked those memories, if you don't leave here believing, at least on some level, that this isn't real, and that the world you're going back to is, when you wake up and your entire life's worth of memories surge back when the suppression lifts, put at odds with what you thought is real up to now. That kind of existential question and doubt would destroy most people. When I said I was here to save your life, I meant that. Maybe not physically. The deltas can rip you out of here and back into the real world. They're strong enough to do that. But being physically alive isn't the same as living. I don't know if you trust me yet. I don't know that you have to. I could keep talking you through all the inconsistencies that indicate the labyrinth. Try to prove to you that I'm telling you the truth. We could keep pushing into the memories, deeper down into them. If that would help, then I'm here. We can try that, at least until the deltas get here. I don't know much about you, about the real you. Just what I learned in my office that day, talking to you. What I've gleaned from looking into this nightmare from the outside. But I do know that you're a good person. A person who cares. A person who tries. A person with good motivations and strong convictions, fierce loyalty to the people you care about. And a person who just wants to feel whole. And you are whole. It worked. Not the way you or Mark may have been expecting, but it did work. And there's a life waiting for you back in the waking world, a life with infinite potential. Not some sterile facility, not an android frame Maybe not a life where you can single-handedly save the world, but a beautiful, precious life, worth living nonetheless. A life with people who care about you, people who miss you. So, I'll ask you again. What state of matter is love?
Oh, thank God you're awake. Oh, I didn't think this was gonna work. I'm so glad it did. Oh, I'm so glad you're okay. And it worked. It really worked. I mean, I've never had the person turn out to be a dreamwalker before. You have to understand that. I had no way of knowing what would happen in that scenario.
You're right. You didn't have any way of knowing. Which is exactly why doing this back alley bullshit is incredibly dangerous. And why this sort of thing should be done in a place with any kind of safety guidelines. Not in a basement filled with hollow promises and a sales pitch. Are you alright? How do you feel? I bet. And your memories? Are they back? All of them? Thank God.
What happens now?
To you? I don't know. That's not my call to make. And you're not my priority. The department investigators will be here any minute. They'll decide what to do with you. Let me help you up. Take your time. You've been out for quite a while. It's gonna take some adjusting. And a lot of help. Help that I am gonna make sure you get. I'm glad you're okay. Thank you for trusting me. At least enough to hear me out. When everything you thought you knew was telling you that I was a lie. I can't say I'm a fan of the version of me that your labyrinth created, but he was right about one thing, at least. You really are a special kind of person. There's a whole empowered world out there waiting for you. And a sister that's gonna be very happy to see you again. Let's get you out of here.